welcome to the channel. I'm back to break down this 10-game MLB DFS slate on DraftKings and FanDuel. Before we get into it, if you do enjoy the content at any point in this video, if you could please leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell, that would be greatly appreciated. Especially that subscribe button, guys. Really do greatly appreciate it. It's going to help me out in a tremendous way, and I'll be here all MLB DFS season helping you guys out, giving you my top plays, breaking down these slates to help you guys become better MLB DFS players, help you guys win some money night in and night out. And just keep in mind, it's a lot more than just the picks. It's the process, all the things that I go over. Try to blend these things into your daily routine, and you will be successful in MLB DFS. So that's the goal here, help you guys out. Don't forget to stay tuned to the end of the video for my home run call of the day. We nailed it last time going with Vogie. Back-to-back home run call. Let us down the time before. I said it's in another great spot. First time I've ever done that on this channel. Came up and hit our first at-bat home run, so you love to see that. We're looking to keep that on a roll. And yeah, don't forget to stay tuned to the end of the video for that. I do offer some premium content. That's linked below in the description. You get access to all the same tools that I use when building my own lineups. Check that out if you're interested, as well as access to me. Ask me questions all the way up until lock. I think you're going to get a lot of help as far as that's concerned as well. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start breaking down this slate today. As always, I like to go ahead and sort my sheet by K rate. It's fantasy sports. We get points for strikeouts, and the top guy on the slate today is going to be Mr. Corbin Burnes, taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Comes with a 35.5% K overall, 16.5 swinging strike rate, 41% K rate against righties, and a 29.9% K rate against lefties. Really, really good across the board. Has been absolutely dominant all season long, and he's taking on an Arizona Diamondbacks team today that doesn't scare us whatsoever. And I think he's in a great opportunity to have a great game. A 4.57 implied run total for his team. He's expected to get some run support, a 231 favorite. He's 11K on FanDuel. Over on DraftKings, he's priced at 11K as well. And as mentioned, I think he's one of the top plays, if not the top play on the slate. So Corbin Burnes, you got to start with him today for sure. Second on the list, we got Trevor Bauer taking on the Atlanta Braves. Not nearly as good of a matchup for Trevor Bauer, but still really good stuff. A 30.3% K overall, 12.3 swing strike rate, 32.2% K rate against righties, and a 28.1% K rate against lefties. So he's the second guy on the list that we're going to. And as mentioned, the reason I think that he is number 2 on this list today is because of the matchup itself, taking on this Atlanta Braves team that is not an easy one to face. Their strikeouts have started to dip down recently as of late, too. Just keeping an eye on that data and stuff. I think that the strikeout rate for these Atlanta Braves bats, they're starting to become a team that's pretty hard to strike out. So Bauer, of course, always going to be a viable option when he takes the bump. He's going to be a great tournament option because you should get him at some lower ownership based upon the fact that he's taking on a difficult matchup. But with that being said, it is a difficult matchup, so I'm not really sure that you want to go there. You're going to have to make that up on your own as far as that decision is concerned. Vince Velasquez taking on the Washington Nationals, 26.7% K overall, 28% K rate against righties, and a 24.8% K rate against lefties. This is a guy that does get a lot of strikeouts, but also has a lot of hard contact issues, so just know when you play him, there's a good chance he could have a lot of upside for you. There's a good chance he could get blown up, and that's unfortunately kind of just what you have to deal with. And then when you look in Philadelphia today, there was some amazing hitting weather there, 92 degrees with 8-mile-an-hour winds blowing out the straightaway center. It's a little scary to be playing pitchers in that kind of a weather environment as well. So probably not going to be all too interested in him. I already mentioned Corbin Burnes is probably my top guy in the slate, and then we dip down past him and things get pretty scary pretty quick, to be honest. So Luis Garcia taking on the Toronto Blue Jays, 26.3% K overall, 12.3 swinging strike rate, 30.6% K rate against righties, and a 21.2% K rate against lefties. Has struggled a lot more against lefties than he has righties. Really, really good against right-handed bats, and that is a good thing today because he has to take on a Toronto Blue Jays team that is very right-handed heavy. Marcus Semien, Bo Bichette, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Teoscar Hernandez, Randall Grichuk, Lourdes Gurriel, Danny Jansen. There's only about 2 lefties in this lineup expected to be in the lineup today. Of course, there's a Sunday slate, so these lineups can get a little bit wonky, but I think that Luis Garcia is in a great option or a great tournament spot here. That he's going to get some low ownership. People aren't really going to be on him, and his splits and everything, they kind of match up in this particular matchup. So I think that Luis Garcia is a good option today. Caleb Smith taking on the Milwaukee Brewers, a team that strikes out a bunch. This could be a little bit of an exciting matchup for him. Only issue that we're dealing with when it comes to him is pitch count and whether they're really going to be able to stretch him out. And looking at his recent performances, we can see that he has worked himself up to like 58 pitches, but nothing more than that. So that's kind of concerning. So he's going to be put back into the starting rotation because of some injuries on this Arizona Diamondbacks team. I tend to think he's still not going to have his pitch count stretched out enough here for us to really have interest in him, to be honest. So unless we see reports that he's willing to go up to like 80, 90 pitches, which even then that might not be enough on such a huge slate when we have guys that could go up to 100, etc. It's probably a pass for me, unfortunately. It would be a good spot. Dane Dunning taking on the Rays. I'm not interested in targeting him. Max Fried taking on the Dodgers. Not really interested in targeting him. The next spot that I'd be looking to is Dylan Cease taking on these Detroit Tigers. 23.6% K overall, 11.8 swinging strike rate, 26.5% K rate against righties, and a 21% K rate against lefties. So he has a pretty decent K rate across the board. He's taking on a Detroit Tigers team that strikes out a bunch. And yeah, that's pretty much a good recipe for success as far as I'm concerned. And I think that he's in a good spot to have a big upside game for himself today. He comes in at 9-4 on DraftKings. Over on FanDuel, they've got a price at 7-6, so a nice discount on him when it comes to FanDuel. And he got blown up last time out, giving up 6 earned runs. The time before, he had 10 Ks against the Baltimore squad. And I think this is a similar matchup taking on this Detroit squad that does strike out quite a bunch. Baltimore and Detroit kind of hand in hand in strikeout rates, so like him for sure. And then once we get past him, I'll be honest, things aren't really all too exciting for me. I don't think I'm really willing to go to anyone. You can play Sandy Alcantara taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. He doesn't really have the biggest strikeout rate in the world, but he does have very good ground ball, fly ball stuff across the board. Has a lot more strikeouts against right-handed bats than left-handed bats. And this Pittsburgh team definitely has a high K rate. Sorry, a little bit of a brain lapse there, but I think that the Pittsburgh Pirates are a team that you could be targeting. Sandy Alcantara doesn't have the highest K rate, but I think he can go out there and have a pretty good game. So, point being, that's the case there. And then Michael Walker taking on Texas. They strike out a bunch as well. He'd be the last guy I'm looking to, actually. Really bad against right-handed bats as far as hard contact is concerned. He's actually a lot better against lefties. And he's taking on a team that's pretty left-handed heavy. So, I think that he could be an intriguing option. The only thing with him is pitch count and looking at how he's been working his way up in pitch count. We've been seeing him right around like 30 pitches the last few times out, and then he's just been a long reliever, and now he's going to be back in the rotation. And Tampa Bay does have a pretty good bullpen and a way of pulling their pitches early, so that's a little scary. Seems that we're dealing with a lot of pitch count issues today, so it's a little bit ironic, but a lot of that stuff will keep me off in particular pitchers when we have guys in the top tier that we've talked about, guys like Dylan Cease and Corbin Burns and Trevin Bauer as we climb the ladder, Luis Garcia. They're going to get a lot more pitches, so. With that being said, let's go ahead and transition over to bats. As always, let's go ahead and sort my sheet by Sierra, skill interactive ERA. It's a good way of determining how good a pitcher's been in his career so far and how good he's expected to be. And the worst guy on the slate today is going to be Mr. Chad Kuhl, taking on the Miami Marlins. Really not the greatest across the board, but specifically he is very, very bad against left-handed hitting. A 464 slugging, giving up 40% hard contact rate, 350 WOBA against those lefties. Is a guy that we've always targeted with left-handed bats. Unfortunately, the Miami Marlins don't have the most of them. But who they do have in the left-handed side of the plate, you're going to really want to have interest in. And the righties with some power, I wouldn't have an issue with either. So you got Devers at the top of the order. Jazz Chisholm's an absolute stud in this league, I think, for a lot of years to come. Like him, Corey Dickerson, Sandy Leon, those lefties you could be looking to. Not the best hitting environment in PNC Park in Pittsburgh. This diagram I like to always show you guys. You can see a lot of red and yellow going on as far as PNC Park is concerned. But Jose Urena taking on the Chicago White Sox. Ground ball, fly ball stuff really isn't the best in the world. He gives up a 363 slugging to righties. Pretty good stuff against lefties, though. He has been absolutely terrible. A 522 slugging, giving up 39% hard contact rate, 381 WOBA. Not going to get the job done. And Urena, definitely a guy that you can target with lefties. With that being said, looking at the Chicago White Sox lineup, unfortunately, they don't have the most lefties in the world. It looks like there are 12-mile-an-hour winds blowing in from right field as well, which is a little bit unfortunate. But Yoan Moncada, Osmani Grandal, Leary Garcia, Billy Hamilton, any lefty that cracks this lineup is going to be in a tremendous spot because Jose Urena is that bad against left-handed hitting. So that's what I'd be looking to there. John Gant taking on the Cincinnati Reds. Ground ball, fly ball stuff's actually really good, especially against righties. Lefties, it starts to go downhill a little bit as far as ground ball, fly ball stuff, but still doesn't give it the most slugging. So for that reason, I'm not the most excited to be targeting the Cincinnati bats today, and they're in St. Louis, which isn't the best hitting environment, and they only have a 4.06 implied run total. So not really getting too excited to be targeting him. Sandy Alcantara taking on these Pittsburgh Pirates. 345 slugging given up to righties, a 417 slugging given up to lefties. Really bad against those left-handed bats. We like to target him with lefties. Pittsburgh, you can be targeting them. Their left-handed bats for low stack in tournaments. Adam Frazier, Brian Reynolds, Gregory Polanco, Kai Tom. Those are the guys you'd be looking to there. Not getting too excited. Dylan Cease taking on Detroit. I mentioned I really have more interest in pitching him. However, he does give up quite a bit of hard contact to both sides of the plate, specifically against left-handed hitting. So maybe a guy that you could actually stack against in tournaments. Get these Tigers low owned and climb up the leaderboards. They only do have a 3.36 implied run total. I'm not exactly getting the most excited to do it, but if you are, stack up those lefties, Robbie Grossman, Heimer Candelario, mixing some righties in the lineup, Miguel Cabrera, Jonathan Scope, and Nomar Mazara, that's how you would be approaching it there. Michael Wacha taking on Texas. We had mentioned his hard contact issues against righties. He gives us some hard contact to lefties as well, but much worse against right-handed bats, and the Rangers don't have the most right-handed bats, so it's a little bit conflicting there. It is in Texas, though, which is a great hitting environment. Looking at the diagram here, you can see a lot of green going on as far as Globe Life Field's concerned, and for that reason, if you want to stack up these Rangers, I wouldn't call you crazy at all. I'm interested to see what their implied run total is going to be. Willie Calhoun, Nate Lowe, Adolis Garcia, Joey Gallo, a lot of power through there. Isaiah Kiner-Fafella, Nick Solak, Brock Holt. Jonah Heim as a catcher also has quite a bit of power. So Texas could be an interesting stack. Like I said, they do have a short leash on their pitchers as far as Tampa's concerned, and their bullpen's pretty good, but maybe looking to them today. St. Louis taking on Wade Miley, a left-handed pitcher that gives up some hard contact to righties. The ground ball, fly ball stuff is pretty good overall, but does give up a 410 slugging to those right-handed bats. So if you're looking to go to him and target him today, the righties that really match left-handed pitching. Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado, most notably. Yadier Molina has done really well. Tyler O'Neill has been showing a lot of power. And Tommy Edman and Dylan Carlson have both been switch hitters that have been performing better against left-handed pitching. So would not call you crazy if you want to go there. Once again, in St. Louis, not the best hitting environment, but no issues with that. Jorge Lopez taking on these Cleveland Indians. He's a guy that I've been willing to target all season long. I don't get scared of this Baltimore Orioles pitching staff and or their bullpen. A 436 slugging given up to righties. Really, really bad against lefties. A 541 slugging given up, 377 WOBA. And in Baltimore today, tremendous hitting environment, tremendous hitting park, and then you factor in the weather there. 93 degrees, 6 mile an hour winds blowing out. And pulling up the diagram here for you guys as far as Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Camden Yards is a great place to be hitting as far as home runs are concerned. Green across the board. Always love targeting this field when it comes to DFS, and I love targeting the Baltimore Orioles. Then you factor in that the Cleveland Indians are on the road. They're going to get that guaranteed plate appearance in the top of the 9th inning. Things are looking pretty good as far as this stack's concerned today. Cesar Hernandez, Alman Rosario, Jose Ramirez, Eddie Rosario, Josh Naylor, Harold Ramirez. I think they're going to be a great stack today for sure. Caleb Smith taking on Milwaukee. He is a guy that has a serious ground ball fly ball issue, gives up a lot of fly balls, and gives up a lot of slugging against right-handed hitting. A 453 slugging given up, 37.1% hard contact rate. Ground ball fly ball stuff is terrible. So these Milwaukee Brewers righties are definitely in a good spot to do some damage today. Luis Urias, Willie Adames, Avisail Garcia, Manny Pena, Tyrone Taylor, Keston Hira, Pablo Reyes. They're going to stack this lineup with righties, I'm guessing, for sure, knowing the matchup and knowing that they need to take advantage of the splits. And for that reason, I'll definitely like this lineup today. Austin Voth taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. We do have some conflicting reports upon who's going to start here for these Nationals. Also rumors that it could be Armenteros. Definitely keep an eye on the Vegas lines because that's going to be a pretty big tipping point to me to have interest in this game. It's in Philadelphia, which is a tremendous hitting environment once again, and there is great hitting weather. So I tend to think this is going to be a spot that I'm going to want to have a lot of interest in. Philadelphia Phillies, Citizen Bank Park, green across the board as far as home runs are concerned. I have a feeling that the run total in this game is going to be pretty high. And I have a feeling I'm going to have interest in both of these teams. So just keep an eye on that. 8 mile an hour winds blowing out the straightaway center. 92-degree weather. Love to hear it. I think I'm going to love these bats. Unfortunately, Voth's numbers really don't mean anything until we get confirmation that he's starting. But I can give you a pretty quick wrap-up here of what he has to offer. High K rate against righties. Terrible K rate against lefties. Gives up a ton of slugging to lefties. Gives up a ton of slugging to righties. So, yeah. Lots of hard hit balls to be going around in this game, and we already talked about Vince Velasquez's hard hit contact issues, and I think that's going to be a great one to be looking to today. Cal Quantrill taking on the Baltimore Orioles. He definitely does a lot worse against left-handed hitting, so we're looking to target these Baltimore Orioles lefties in this one. Cedric Mullins, Anthony Santander, Freddie Galvis, DJ Stewart, Stevie Wilkerson, all of the above. No issues with you going to them. Vince Velasquez next on the list. We already talked about targeting him with some hard contact issues, and then once we get past him, things start to get a lot worse as far as targeting very quickly. The last guy that I would mention to target would indeed be Luis Garcia taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. I already mentioned he's really good against righties, but he is not good against lefties at all. So any lefty that cracks the lineup in the Blue Jays lineup will be an intriguing play. Joe Panic, Rowdy Tellez, lots of power. I think I like those guys tonight. And that is my overall breakdown of this 10-game slate. Before I let you guys go, I got to give you my home run call of the day. Let's get into it. And my home run call of the day today is going to be Jose Ramirez taking on Jorge Lopez in Baltimore. I mentioned great hitters park on the road, great hitting weather out there today in Baltimore. Jorge Lopez really struggling against left-handed hitting, a 541 slugging given up to those lefties, 39% hard contact rate, a 377 WOBA. Going to give him some issues in a matchup with an elite hitter like Jose Ramirez. I think that he can really capitalize on this one, and then when you're breaking down the repertoire as far as what Jorge Lopez throws for pitches, really going to like this spot for Jose Ramirez even more. Very reliant on the sinker curveball combination, throws that sinker about 35% of the time. Jose Ramirez features a 276 ISO with a 377 WOBA against that pitch, a 55.56% hard contact rate, and then as far as the secondary stuff and the curveball, he crushes that pitch as well. A 279 ISO with a 431 WOBA. Love this spot for Jose Ramirez. Get him in your lineups because he is my home run call of the day. So there you have it, guys. Jose Ramirez, get him in your lineups. Love this spot for him, an elite hitter in this matchup. I think he can really do some damage today. Wish you guys all the best of luck today. If you did enjoy this video, if you could please leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. That would greatly help me out, guys. Good luck. Go win some money, and we will see you in the next one.